do it twice just in case. Good morning. Welcome to Transform Your Life in 15 Minutes. My name is McAdams. I'm an author. I'm also a certified life coach and an accounting professor. I specialize in personal and small business finance and also fitness. I help people reach their goals. And I want to welcome you to Transform Your Life in 15 Minutes. And this is a series where we're doing 5-minute exercises, one each for the mind, the body, and the soul. Now, what I want to do for you today is, during this mind session, I want to kind of regroup and kind of go back and talk about what we have been talking about so far, because this right now is going into the 6th month of me doing this broadcast show. And so there's some of you that it's your first time joining me, which, by the way, welcome and thank you for joining me this morning. And then there's some of you that have actually been following me right along since the very beginning, and then some that have come on in between. But I want to kind of like take the time today, before I introduce the next book that we will be discussing, kind of want to take the time and just kind of show you the journey of what's been going on. Now, keep in mind that my background is in coaching. My background is also in finance. My background is also in fitness. And so mainly those are the areas that I help people in. There's a wide variety, but those are the main areas that I specialize in. And so I just want to kind of get you to understand what it is that I'm trying to accomplish by doing this broadcast series. Okay, so it starts off with the very first book that we talked about, which was Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. Now, in that particular book, I forgot to start my timer. It's supposed to be 5 minutes. In that particular book, we discussed, it talked about the subconscious mind and basically the mind. Now, what I want you to understand is this. When you picture your mind, this is the picture that I want you to come up with. And again, I know this one is backwards, but you can read it, right? So I want you to picture this as your mind. And your mind right here is divided into 2 parts. And again, this is not literally, but this is how your mind works. Okay, so you have 2 parts. The top part is known as your conscious mind. And this is also known as your thinking mind. And then your bottom portion is the subconscious mind, which is your emotional mind. All right. And then this is your body. And based upon your habits and beliefs that you develop over the years, and of course your values, all those are all stored in the subconscious mind, it results into actions or lack thereof. Now, the reason why that book is important is because over the years, there's been several tools that I have in my arsenal, if you will, of things that you can do in order to either lose weight, to get your life in balance, to find your purpose, to get your finances in order. There's a lot of tools that I share. But over the years, I've noticed that some people were able to take these tools and then be successful with them, where others weren't. And the tools are the tools, right? These are nothing that you don't know already. Like if I tell you what should you be doing right now to lose weight, if you're trying to lose weight, you're going to tell me, okay, I know I should be eating right, and I know I should be exercising, I know I should be reducing my stress, I know I should be drinking water. These are things that you already know, right? But why is it that you're not doing it? And that's what I want to discuss or discover, or wanted to discover. And that's the purpose of me discussing that book, Psycho-Cybernetics, because it talked about your subconscious mind. So when we talk about that subconscious mind, that represents, where's my other diagram? I want you to notice that in reality, this is what the picture really looks like. So again, this circular portion is your mind, but notice that 5% of us walk around consciously thinking, whereas subconsciously, this is where all the habits, the beliefs, and the values are all stored. Right here, this is 95%. And by the way, the subconscious mind is like your autopilot. This is working in the background, okay? And this is the reason why you're not doing the things that you know that you should be doing, or that you even want to do. You just can't compel your body to take action. It's because of the subconscious mind. So Psycho-Cybernetics was divulging into that aspect and making you, or helping you to understand how our mind works, okay? So that was the first part of our journey. And then the second book that we read was by yours truly. I wrote a book called Your Body, the Perfect Life, How to Find Your True Purpose and Live the Balanced Life. Now, by the way, I haven't forgotten you, right? That book is actually still in publication right now. And as a matter of fact, it should be released. I'm doing a book signing in December, so it should be released within the next couple months. And I promise you, I'll give you information about that. But that book is actually an analogy of your body, which is obviously your body, and your house. And it basically addresses the 5 areas of your life, which is your physical, your emotional, your financial, your spiritual, and your relationships. And I use it as like a metaphor of the house, where the house has the kitchen, which is your physical. You have the living room, which is your financial. You have the office, which is your spirituality. You have the bathrooms. There's 2 bathrooms for the left brain and right brain, which comprise of your emotional. And then you have the bedrooms, which are 2 bedrooms, which is the relationship with yourself and also relationship with others. So we talked about that and how you can clean up those aspects of your life. And then the third book, I got my little list here. The third book was The Compound Effect by Dr. Well, I don't think he's a doctor, but Darren Hardy. Okay, and so this book is about taking small, consistent actions, like just small actions, but doing it consistently over time in order to develop success. So as you can see, there's like a trend here. Okay, I got it. I got you. First, we talked about how the mind works, okay? And then we looked at the aspect of the whole body, including your environment. And then we said, okay, now we're going to move into taking those actions about the compound effect. And then with the compound effect, a lot of times we think in terms of big things. So I know I should do this, or I know I should eat healthy. Well, don't think in terms of just changing your whole lifestyle right now. Just think in terms of just one bite at a time, or one thing. So in other words, what's one thing that you can do? Can you incorporate adding more fruits into your diet? Okay, just start small, but be consistent. And then over time is where you make the change. Okay, so that's what the compound effect was. Then we moved on to the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and this was by Dr. Stephen Covey. And obviously now, since we know about the habits, now we're going to develop 7 of them that's going to actually help us be successful in the life. Okay. And by the way, all of these broadcasts, or these books that I mentioned, are on broadcasts that are previously, am I getting it right, are pre-recorded, and they're found on my YouTube channel. So in case you're interested in these, and they're by the months. Basically, I started this in May, and so now we're in October. This is 6 months, but all of these have been recorded, so you can always go back and look over those. Okay. So by the way, we talked about the 7 habits, and then after the 7 habits, we went on to, did I do that in order? I think, yeah, okay, we did it right. And then last month we talked about Eat the Frog. And by the way, I still have my froggy right here. I keep it right here in front on my desk so I can look at it and say every day, what is the frog that I'm going to eat? And basically, Eat That Frog is about procrastination, right? It's about doing that one thing that you know that you should be doing that's going to propel you to whatever the next level is for you, or to be successful, whatever it is for you. And it may change, but it's basically doing that one thing. Like a lot of times what we do is, let me just kind of get both of them together so you can actually see them. If let's say there's 2 frogs, and by the way, if you can't really see, this one's smaller and this is the bigger one. A lot of times what we do is we do all the little simple tasks that we can do when this is the one that we should accomplish. And by doing this one, it's going to take up the majority. It's going to be the majority of what we really should be doing in the first place, but we tend to focus on all the other things that surrounds it. Okay, so that was the premise of Eat That Frog. And then it brings us to the book of this month. So I'm happy to reveal that this month we're going to be reading Who Moved My Cheese? Okay, so Who Moved My Cheese? And this is by Dr. Spencer Johnson. And this is, I don't think I have, by the way, most of the books that I'm talking about, I think with the exception of Psycho-Cybernetics, they're on my iPad or my Kindle. They're virtual books. But I actually prefer a physical book, but the majority of ones that I read are virtual books. So I don't actually have the book. I do have a picture of the book cover in case you want to see what it looks like. But again, it's just a written out thing right here. But this one right here is just basically a simple parable that reveals truth about change. Because remember, this is Transfer Your Life in 15 minutes. In order to do something, to have something different, you're going to have to embrace change. And so this is going to be a parable, and you'll be able to see throughout the parable of what it talks about with change. Now, one other thing, I know I'm kind of going over here, but so be it. One other thing I want to talk about as well is this, really, really quickly. These books that I talked about, you may say, okay, P, I've already read these books. And I get it. And some of you are like, Pia, I don't even like to read. We'll address you in just a moment. But for those of you that say, Pia, I've already read these books, then you know what? Great. You know what? I've read them too. But this is the difference. I read these books years ago, and maybe a couple years ago, or maybe a month ago. It doesn't matter. It's that when you are changing, everything about you is changing, right? Remember, we're talking about transformation. Good morning, Nisi. Good to see you. Oh, my BFF is on. This is a great day. All right. So when we're talking about change, I want you to understand that Einstein said that you cannot affect change being the same person. Okay, I'm obviously translating this. So in other words, if you want to do something different, you have to be someone different. You can't be the same person that you were that got you in the position that you are in now. Because think about it, doesn't that make sense? Like for where you are right now. And by the way, if where you are totally happy, you're successful, things are going great, then by all means, continue doing what you've been doing. It's working for you. I'm addressing those that are not happy with where they are, and or maybe they are happy. It's not that you can't be happy, but you want something different, you want something better. So in order to have something better, to do something better, you have to be something better or something different. I'm not saying that you're not enough where you are enough, but don't you want to be a better version of who you are? That's all what we're talking about here in this Transform Your Life in 15 Minutes, okay? So by the way, just really quickly, for those of you that don't like to read, bottom line is read. No, seriously, read. And there's different ways. Like, let's say, for instance, it's the book reading. Matter of fact, I have a book right here. I don't want to hold up because that's my November book. I already have my November book. But let's say that you have a book and you say, it just makes me sleepy to read. Well, there's Audible, there's audio books, which are, by the way, great. And by the way, I actually recommend you do the reading, the physical reading book, or the iPad, or whatever, the virtual book, and then also the audio book as well. Because remember, we talked about your car university. So anytime that you're commuting back and forth, to work or wherever you're going, I'm listening to audiobooks. I'm not listening to the radio. I'm not filling my mind with negativity about what's going on in society. I'm filling my mind with things that's going to help me grow. And by the way, whatever's going on in the environment has always been going on. You're just right now. You're just so you're soaked in it right now because it's always in front of you. But keep in mind that you have the power to affect change. And by the way, guys, this broadcast isn't for everyone. I'm not trying to reach everyone. I'm trying to reach you. Yes, you. This is for you. Okay. So keep in mind, we're transforming ourselves in 15 minutes. So we're doing 5-minute exercises. Again, one each for the mind, the body, and the soul. And I kind of went over a little today just because I kind of want to recap of what we've been doing for those of you that it's your first time joining me, or if again, like I like to say, repetition is the mother of learning. So there's some things that are going to be repetitive throughout the broadcast, and there's a reason for that, okay? Because again, I want to drive home the points. All right, so we're going to move on to the next two portions. The second portion that we're going to do now is the yoga, and I want to kind of talk about it first, and I'll move on to it. Now, with the yoga, it's more of a mind-body connection. Yoga is about movement, okay? So keeping in terms of movement, exercise, and mind-body connection. There's so many benefits of yoga. I don't have time to talk about it right now, but the main one that I want you to focus on is that mind-body connection. It's not just about movement, about exercising. Yes, you will be exercising, but I want you to go internal. I want you to go deeply. I want you to feel what's going on inside of you. Any strains, any stress, any pains, anything that's going on internally, because again, it's about the mind-body connection. Okay, and we're going to be using our breath. We're going to be using Ujjayi breath. And what Ujjayi breathing is the diaphragmatic breathing. So as you as you inhale, your abdomen is going to expand out as the diaphragm lifts up and moves its way up opens up to the chest cavity, and then your chest is going to also expand out. This is on the inhale, and then as you exhale, when you're blowing it out, and just generally throughout your mouth, and it has to be, but it's more of a, over time you'll get where your mouth is closed, but it's still open, like slightly open. But as you're exhaling, your chest is going to go back in or collapse inward, and then your abdomen is going to also go back into the original position that it was. Okay, so that's full diaphragmatic breathing. And then finally, we're going to go to the third section, which is the meditation. This is based upon the soul. Remember, mind, body, and soul, or spirit, whichever one you want to call it. And today we're going to do a 2-minute meditation. Now, with the 2-minute meditation, I've been doing this for a while because, again, this is something I want you to do every single day, at least a couple times a day, guys. I just really I can't stress enough the power of meditation, and particularly just doing 2 minutes. Remember about the compound effect. It's not about doing the 45 minutes or 30 minutes or 15 minutes. You can just do 2 minutes. And particularly for those of you that is your first time meditating, or if you're being introduced to meditating, and even as someone has been meditating for a while, I still do these 2-minute meditations. And I'll just go ahead and tell it to you right now so that way I can just kind of move on into it and not talk about it. But with the meditation, this 2-minute meditation, this is great for beginners because all you're going to do is you're just going to breathe normally for 2 minutes. Okay, you'd like set your little timer. You're going to breathe normally for 2 minutes. But what you're going to do is you're going to count your exhales. So you're just going to inhale normally. Like first I'm going to get you into it. Like I'll give you 3 deep breaths to get you into, to get yourself grounded, to get yourself aligned, to set your intention. But once that's done, you're just going to breathe normally like you would normally breathe. And then you're going to count your exhales. Okay. And you're going to start off with 1. Now, when you're counting your exhales, anytime there's any distractions, whether outside with noise, your environment and things that's going on, or internally with your thoughts, if your mind starts to wander, I want you to first acknowledge that. Okay, so if there's let's say it's a thought, acknowledge that thought, and then go back to your breathing and start all over with 1. Okay, so in other words, let's say that you're breathing and you got up to 2, and all of a sudden, like right now, I hear a noise where some going on with my water. I hear the noise and I get distracted. So I say, okay, I'm distracted. Then I go back to my breathing and I start all over again with 1. Okay, and you're going to do this and you're going to get up to hopefully, now I'm not going to say hopefully, you don't want to get up to no more than 10. The first couple times you're going to find that if you get to 3, 4, 5, you're like, oh my God, I'm doing great. Okay, so this is a process, but understand you got to be patient with yourself. Okay, this whole transform yourself in 15 minutes about self-love. So you have to be kind and be patient and loving to yourself as you would with anyone else. Okay, so don't get frustrated if, let's say, you only got to 1 and the next time something happens. Over time, as you do this, I promise you, if you continue to do this, you will see that all of a sudden you will focus on just your breath. Okay, now that's the purpose of this. Now, by the way, as I'm walking, I'll go ahead and discuss this next one because I'm like going way over. Thank you, Nisi. But by the way, there's a misconception here. Like a lot of times people say when it comes to meditation, I have a hard time finding time to clear my mind. Well, let me just kind of get that out of the way for you right quick, okay? Number 1, it's impossible to clear your mind, okay? By having thoughts, by the way, we have over 70,000 thoughts, okay? Over 70,000 thoughts throughout the day. So that is the sign of having a normal, healthy brain. So there's not possible to clear your mind unless you're dead, okay? So I don't want you to think in terms of trying to clear your mind. What you're trying to do is you're trying to focus on something other than those thoughts, okay? So in other words, you want to focus on the quietness. You want to focus on the stillness. And so I don't want you to think in terms of trying to clear your mind. You're not going to be able to clear your mind. Oh, where am I? Like, where am I? You're not going to, you know what I did? I took my portable light off. I tell you, it's one of those days. That's okay. You guys can still see me, right? All right. So anyways, so just kind of let you know one more time, you're not going to clear your mind, but you will be able to focus just on your breath. And eventually over time, then you can actually do, like there's other meditations I will be doing as well, like guided meditations that will help you as well. All right. So guys, again, I apologize, it's going to be over, but you know what? This is all good. And we're going to move on to the second portion, which is the yoga. And by the way, when I'm doing the yoga and the meditation, I want you to understand that these are practices. So that means I'm going to invite you to join me. You're not going to get as much out of it just watching me. Yeah, oh yeah, she did that. Oh yeah, I can see. Oh yeah, I can see that. Oh no, I can't do that. No, I want you to join me, okay? The yoga is just a 5-minute one, and again, I've pretty much been doing some of the same routines, or movements and poses, so that you could, not the same routine, but movement and poses, so that your body can get used to those. And I may not throw some in, but that's just my favorite speech. I'll introduce other poses, throughout, and then we'll come back to them. We're still working on the crane, which is an advanced pose, which is an advanced balancing pose. And I think we're going to reveal it like next month. Okay, so right now we're still doing the preparations for doing that. All right, so again, do what you can. It's only 5 minutes, guys. Okay, only 5 minutes. Give yourself 5 minutes. You deserve 5 minutes. And by the way, I know I went over today, but with this 5-minute mind, body, and soul, even though I'm doing it as a 15-minute segment, understand that you can break it up. Okay, you can do, let's say, listen to the mind as you're getting dressed in the morning, because that's a great time to do it. And then let's say throughout the middle of the day, your mind is so hectic, you need time to quiet yourself. And so then you do the 2-minute meditation. And then later on in the evening before you go to bed, and you may want to, get a mind-body connection. You want to do some yoga. Do it however you like, okay? Again, it's about taking consistent actions every single day, okay? Even when I'm not on. By the way, this is Monday through Saturday, but even when I'm not on, small, consistent choices, done consistently over time, okay? Small choices done consistently over time will lead to success. All right, enough of my talking. Let's get to movement. Okay, so for today, we're going to be let's go into tabletop. I like tabletop tabletop. I'll direct you as I get into shape. By the way, I'm getting my music on. All right, so tabletop, and please join me. All right, so on tabletop, you're on your hands and knees, And you want to make sure your palms are directly underneath your shoulders, your knees are directly underneath your hips, your head is natural extension of your spine. Fingers and toes are spread out nice and wide. And again, in this moment, just take a couple breaths to get yourself grounded. I like to take 3 deep breaths. And then once you're grounded, I want you to set your intention of what it is that you want to accomplish for this next 5 minutes during this yoga practice. Now I want you to draw your breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to drop your chin down to your chest. I want you to round through the spine and tuck the pelvic under. Now as you inhale, with your head and chest comes forward, drop your belly button down toward the mat. Relax your shoulders, press the armpits down toward the mat as well. And then as you exhale, round through the spine, tuck your pelvic under, arch your back. Let's do that one more time. Head and chest comes forward. Belly button goes down toward the mat. Press those shoulder blades down. Tailbone sticks out toward the back of the room. And then as you exhale, all right, this time I want you to return back to neutral spine. And I just kind of want you to rock your hips side to side. And then kind of just move your head around. Again, it's first thing in the morning. And you just want to do what feels comfortable to you. All right, go ahead and return back to your neutral spine as you inhale. This time as you exhale, I want you to curl those toes under, and I want you to lift up into downward facing dog, Ardha Mukha Savasana. Now I want you to pedal your legs. Now this downward facing dog is a resting position. And feel free to modify it. There's different things that you can do. You can walk your feet out toward the edges of your mat if you are using one, and you continue doing a wide leg downward facing dog. At any time, you can also take it back to tabletop for a resting position, or you can also use child's pose as well. All right, let's go ahead and just walk our feet in toward our palms. And I want you to keep your palms flat, so if you need to, go ahead and bend your knees. And then I want you to slowly lift up, taking it one vertebra at a time. Kind of take your time here, making sure that your head is the last to rise. Draw your shoulders up and rotate them down your back. And let's come to Tadasana. I'm off the mat. Of course I am. All right. So let's come to Tadasana, which is mountain pose. So your feet are together or slightly hip distance apart. They're grounded. So you pretend like there's some strings from the bottom of your feet that's going all the way down through the floor, all the way to the middle earth. You want to make sure your shoulders are drawn back. Now you can't see my head, but if I was going down, you pretend like there's a string from the top of your head attached this way all the way up to the ceiling, so you're standing up nice and tall, strong, stable, sturdy, just like a mountain. Now as we inhale, we're going to take our hands up, and as we exhale, we're going to dive the body forward. Now, for some of you, you may only be here with your flexibility. That is a-okay. Just go with whatever feels comfortable to you. And then as you inhale, I want you to arch your back. So if you're here, you would just be like this. Kind of arch your back, keep your head in a natural extension of your spine. And as you exhale, forward fold. Okay, for some of you may be here, that's fine. All right, now I want you to place your palms down flat. I want you to step back, right, left into the plank. And I want you to release your knees, chest, chin, or you can chaturanga dandasana. And as we inhale, we're going to take it to upward facing dog. Relax your shoulders, press them away from your ears, and then we're going to curl the toes under and take it to downward facing dog. And again, start to pedal. Now as you inhale, we're going to come up on the top of our toes, and as you exhale, roll down to the balls of your feet all the way down to the heels. Let's do it again. Come up on the top of your toes. As you inhale, this time I want you to lean your hips over toward the right, bending that right knee toward the left. And you're pressing your chest toward that left thigh and knee. And then return back to the center, and then roll it all the way down. Try to get your heels down to the mat. All right, let's do that one more time. Come up on the top of your toes. This time you're going to take your hips over toward the left. You're going to bend that left knee toward the right. Nice gentle stretch here. And then return back to the center and roll all the way down to the balls of your feet all the way down toward the heels. Now I want you to step forward, right, left. I want you to inhale, take it all the way up. Arch back for me. Exhale, dive the body forward. And look up halfway. Flatten out the palms. This time step back left, right. Knee, chest, chin, or chaturanga dandasana. Inhale. Curl those toes under and exhale. Now this time, as you inhale, I want you to draw your knees down toward the mat. And as you exhale, I want you to extend those legs. Try to get the heels down. Press your chest toward your thighs and your knees. Let's do that again. And one more time. Draw the knees down toward the mat. And then exhale. Extend it all the way back. Now this time, step forward, left, right. Inhale, take it all the way up. Arch back. Exhale, dive the body forward. Now look up halfway. Flatten out the palms, step back, right, left to the plank. Release your knee, chest, chin, or chaturanga dandasana. Inhale. And then curl those toes under and exhale. Just kind of warm up, doing some salutations here. Now go ahead and walk your feet in. Again, try to keep your palms flat. And then slowly take it up. One vertebrae at a time. Making sure that your head is the last to rise. And let's take it back to Tadasana. Inhale, take the arms up. As you exhale, dive the body forward. Place your palms down flat, step out, left, right, toward the edges of the mat. And I want you to exhale, draw the hips down, tailbone down, toward the mat, hips come forward. And using your elbows on there, pushing out on those inner thighs, I want you to bring your palms together at the heart center and bow your head down for Malasana. It's a great time to give some gratitude. And this is also one of my favorite poses to end in because this opens up the hip flexors. We spend the majority of our time in the seated position, so your hip flexors are tight and they're also shortened. So this one opens up the hip flexor, okay? So just kind of breathe your way through this one. As you inhale, you're kind of holding your position. As you exhale, you're directing your breath toward the tight areas in your body, namely those hip flexors. And then release your palms down toward the mat, and then take them behind you. Now transition yourself until you comfortably see the position facing forward, making sure that you're on your sits bones and off the fleshy part of your bottom. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders are drawn down and back. Head is a natural extension of the spine. As we inhale, we're going to take the arms up overhead. And as we exhale, release the fingertips down toward the mat. Another time, inhale. Bringing in all the positive energy. And then exhale any stress, strains, tension. One more time, nice deep breath, inhaling. This time we're going to greet the palms together at the very top. We're going to exhale, bring your hands down to the heart center. And then namaste. All right, thank you for practicing yoga with me. This brings us to the meditation. We're going to be doing our 2-minute exercise. Now with meditation, you can do it with your eyes open, your eyes closed. I find it better to do it with my eyes closed, but of course I'm directing you, so I'm going to have my eyes open. So I don't want you to think my eyes are open. That means your eyes should be open. Your eyes should really be closed unless you're more comfortable with them open. So again, you're in a nice comfortable seated position. I want you to take a nice deep breath, inhaling. And as you exhale, I just want you to drop your chin down towards your chest. As you inhale, head and chest goes up. And then as you exhale, just drop your chin down towards your chest. One more time, inhale. And this time as you exhale, just bring your chin forward so that your head is the natural extension of your spine. All right, so you're going to begin your counting for 2 minutes. Remember, you're going to be counting your exhale, okay? Regular breathing. Ready? Begin. All right, go ahead and release, relax, return, refreshed, and calm. You've done something good for yourself today. All right, I want to thank you for taking the time to meditate with me. And please share with me your numbers. Like, share with me your experience on meditation and any type of frustrations or triumphs that you may have. Share with me, and I'll be happy to offer you some more pointers and tips that will help you be successful throughout your practice of meditation or yoga or any of the other things that we talk about as well. All right, so that concludes today's broadcast. Your word for today is restore. I want you to have a restoreful day, and I will see you tomorrow at the same time. Bye.